Alrighty, and here is the video review of MP-11, which is the new ruler Starscream, or Emperor Starscream, or just Starscream, really. I mean, like, Starscream is Starscream. I don't think he really needs titles as much as he might like one himself. But yeah, it's the new version of the MP Starscream mold. And it really is, I mean, essentially at its core, it's more or less the same basic robot at its core. There are a lot of cosmetic differences and some things which we'll show you here in the review. For one thing right off the bat, you'll notice you're seeing the red here and the tip of the wing instead of the kind of curved pieces that made it look more like a real jet on the bottom. It had the curve, just the curved stuff. I'm afraid the curved panels and things on him to make him resemble a little bit more of a real jet. And those are gone now. Basically, what we've got here is the original prototype, and then maybe they've made some differences since then. But it's basically the original prototype of the figure that we saw and got all excited about before they actually changed it to look like a more realistic jet. I think this looks more like the cartoon Starscream in the original toy, and I'm totally down with that. He's got the landing gear, and we'll flip that open. Go ahead and flip that up. And the landing gear works basically the same as the original. He does come with a little translucent blue hologram pilot that can sit here that actually looks like a pilot. It's not Dr. Octaville. It actually looks like a little blue pilot, and I forgot to bring him, but he is. He's just a little tiny piece of plastic, and really he likes to fall out, and like I really don't want to lose it under the desk here at work. Now, one of the things that they kept that I wish they had gotten rid of is he's got the opening nose cone to show the radar. That's nice on the realistic jet, I guess, but like it's a gimmick I never really cared for. They have fixed the problem where the cone on the original sat a little crooked because of the gimmick, and I don't know what they did, but this one seems to fit a lot straighter and fit a lot better to the front of the jet than the one on the MP3 did. So yeah, also you'll notice that he has his null rays. They look a little bit more like his null rays. You'll also notice that there's a connecting piece here because they are not, I guess technically they are separate pieces, but they're connected. They're not like you don't have to pull them off and pop them around. Pop them onto the arms like you did before. Well, and we'll get to that in a minute. So to transform them, when you want to start off, the first thing you want to do is just pull them off. You see they're connected there. Just unplug it from the wing and leave it on the connector here. So just pull those off, just like that. Flip up these fins, and then you want to get this piece right here. I usually lift the wing up a little bit just to get this piece up, and you can get a little bit more of a grip on this. You can come from the back too, but you want to get this whole piece up. Just like before, the transformation is very similar to the original. He does have the air brake still here that you can open up, although again, it's a feature that they kept, and I don't blame them for not working that out because it's really kind of non-obtrusive, but it is a feature from the original, and it's not one that I use a lot to really care for, but I'm not complaining about it being there. So you pop that off. The wings. The wings actually, since they don't have the pieces up here, actually they're pegged in on part of the arm right here. So you got to lift that up. You can see this piece right here. You kind of want to pull those apart to get this tab out before you start messing with the wings. Once you do, though, you can start getting the wing rotated up and around. Actually, you need to unplug it from here too. Yeah, there you go. Pull it out like that because it's pegged in right here too. So yeah, lift up here, pop the wing off here, pull it out here, and then you can start flipping them up. Also, you want to flip out this little peg right here, right there on the back of the wing. And that's going to peg in up here in the slot. So you can go ahead and lift that up and peg it in. The joints, also the pegs here, the hinges here, now have an opening on the end. You can see the metal bar in there, and they're designed to clip off. They won't crack like the like MP3 had some issues with those hinges cracking, and that shouldn't happen anymore. Again, you can keep this up. The legs down here, and again, these panels right here flip down and back on the wings, and then you can extend the legs here. They should just come. Why are you not extending legs? There we go. There we go. Extend the legs. And the feet are a little different this time around as well, because now you pull these out and it's actually on, it rotates around here. You want to flip it forward and then rotate it around. And again, pop it. You want to flip it all the way down so it's got clearance, and then rotate it around like that. And there's the front part of the foot. And the back part, and then you slide these panels up on the side to get them out of the way. So they kind of did that. Well, a lot of people did that modification to the original, and these have it built in, which is nice. And then you got to get right in here, lift this up, and in here is the heel, and then you just close that back up again. So again, lift that up, flip out the heel, click that right in here, and come around front. And this is pretty much, again, the same as before. He does have these little panels here on his side, but you'll notice he doesn't have the tail fins hanging off, which is also nice. But you come up here, you pull the arms out to the side here, and then you bring the waist or the abdomen pieces kind of down and around like this. And then finally, you can come back here, take this piece, bring it in. You want to open the cockpit, flip this up and like that, and then a lot like the, oh, his head just popped off. Well, there you go. That's the first time that has happened to me, is to have his head pop off. But you pull this around and rotate it just like before. We'll pop his head back on here real quick. There we go. And then you just collapse this piece, open this up, bring these arms down like this, bring his turbines forward, and then collapse this whole piece down into the body. Take the little scoops here, flip them forward, bring the arms down, flip the fist down, and rotate it out. And do the same over here. Bring the arm down, fist down, rotate the shoulders out, and the bicep out. Open up his hand and make it look more like a hand and not a folded up hand. Dun da da da. Okay. Yeah, amazing, I know. And stand him up. Now here he is, more or less in robot mode, except for a couple little things here, and we'll get those sorted out directly. And those are his null rays. And as you can see, they connect to his arm here, the way they connected to the wings in vehicle mode. And you just take it, bring it down. Yeah. How does this work? No, not like that. There's a special, you gotta twist this in just the right way. Here we go. Nope, that's not right either. I practiced this like 6 times, and now it doesn't want to obey me. Oh, there we go. I'm going to bring it down like this. You snap it onto the ball. I knew there was something I was forgetting. So you bring it down like this and bring it up and just peg it over, slide it over the tab like that. And now his blasters sit along his arm, give you a little bit of range of movement in case you want them out of the way. But you don't have to detach them unless you pop them off like I did, because I didn't pay attention. Here you go. Just rotate them around. There. See, it really is that simple. Here they are for jet mode. Rotate it around and push it in like that. There it is for robot mode. That easy. The end. Yes, I'm an idiot today because it's been a long day. So yeah, and there he is. Where did all my light go? I had this thing all set up. There we go. That's a little better, huh? Okay. Well, there he is. So there's Starscream. Just to get an idea of his size. He's the same size as the original MP-11 or MP3. There he is next to MP-10. So a much nicer size with Masterpiece Optimus. Because you remember the MP-01 was, off the screen tall. Like he comes up to about, if he were standing in front of MP-10 or MP-01, he'd come up to about here on MP-01. So much better scale between these two. I think this is the scale they want to do the Masterpiece line in. The sound wave coming out according to pictures, is going to be right about here. He's going to hover right between the two figures here. So yeah, there he is. And if you want to just get a close-up of his face here, he's got a different head sculpt than MP-03. Let's see if we can get a better light. There we go. So you can see it there. And his head's a little wider because his head now, unlike before, the side pieces spring in to give him the clearance to fit through the hole and have a little bit blockier head. And I like it. He's not smirking, unfortunately, but other than that, it's a really nice sculpt, and it looks really great on the figure. Now, one of the other things he comes with here is, as you've seen in many of the pictures, is he does have his Coronation Gear from the movie. And it's fairly simple stuff, with the exception of the cape. He's got the crown, and again, his head kind of those side pieces do kind of compress in to fit the crown, but you can just put the crown right on his head. And it's a little big, but you know, I would have liked to have if the plastic be a little thinner. And when you do this, you kind of want to pull these back because it gives his head some movement. Otherwise, the crown's too wide for these little scoop things on either side of his head, the intakes, and it'll push his head forward. So there's that. The shoulder pads just have a little plug right here. You see there's a little gray tab in here, and there's a port here on his shoulder that the tabs into, and the port itself, you can see, can flip. So you've got some range of movement in his arms. You can, just because you plug these on, you want to make sure the screw hole goes in the back. So this one goes on this arm. But you just plug this into here, and then you can still move his arm. If you want to bring his gun out of the way to be able to move his arm, you can do that. But you can still get some movement out of his arm without popping these things off because that hinge moves, and that's really nice as well. So you can get him in these on both sides. And then he's got the cape. And the cape is actually pretty cool in that here it is a standard cape. You can open it. There's a little hinge here to make it an even wider cape. And the piece it mounts on is also on a clicky joint, so you can have the cape blowing a little bit to one side or the other, and we'll show that off in a minute. But basically, this piece right here, it's designed to just slide. There's no extra ports or anything added. It's designed to slide right over that air brake piece on his back. So you just got to line that all up and then just push it in. Just like that until it locks into place. And then you stand him up, and he's got his cape. And like I said, here it is in the fully opened version on his back. Get his crown back on. You can see how that just folds up and it overlaps. There it is with just the regular cape on his back. And if you want, here I'll show the mechanism here. Like I said, it's on the clicky joint, so whether open or closed, you can also then rotate it up to one side or the other if you want to have him in a pose where like his cape is billowing and, you know, like on the packaging with his get this out, his arm out to the side, like he's making an edict or something like that. You can do that. Personally, I'm not a big fan of having it billowing to the side. I like to have it down, either like that or folded up. But it's still a neat little thing, and it's nice that they made it work without really having to add anything to the figure. There's no unsightly ports or anything to hold it on, so you can get him in his full Coronation Gear. And that really is just a bonus to me, because the pictures made it look good. In hand, this guy is great. He's just a great, if you never had MP3, he's definitely worth hunting down just to have one, because I think he's a much better overall figure. The plastic doesn't feel as cheap as, and the Walmart version exclusive in the US didn't really feel cheap, but it felt cheaper than this. It felt softer. The plastic felt a little softer. And this is he's a nice gray and red and blue. He's not that brilliant white that the Walmart version was. And there wasn't anything wrong with the color scheme on the Walmart one, really. But I just feel this one really captures the look of the toy and the G1 character better than the Walmart version did. It really is just that simple. It's much more in line with the original prototype we got. I like the fact that he's got his fins down here and not hanging off his side like little scabbards. I like the fact that we've got the arms. I love the new mechanism for these null rays, that you don't have to pop them off. They look more like null rays, and I love the way that they stay on as part of the transformation, unless you do like me and pop them off like an idiot. But yeah, I really like him. And again, he's still got the same. You don't have to have the wings up as high. You can tilt them back a little bit, so it gives them a little bit more depth if you decide to. And he just looks really great. He especially looks good posed on the shelf like I usually have him next to Optimus. Those two I think look... And just another reason to like MP-10 is he just looks really cool here with Starscream. So yeah, if you can find one, a lot of the online stores apparently are sold out because my friend Joe was looking for him and can't find him anywhere. So be on the lookout for it. But yeah, definitely recommended if you've got the money and you can find one, pick him up, because we know that the Target or the Thundercracker, not Target, Toys R Us exclusive Thundercracker is coming. That is from this mold, and it's going to be pretty cool. I'll probably pick one of those up. I'd love to have a Skywarp announced at some point, just because. Come on, give me some brighter light. Yeah, and I'm sorry for the lighting issue. I've been trying to experiment because for a while that white background was working for me, and then lately it's been getting really dim, and I don't know if the phone's overcompensating for the light reflecting off the white, or if somehow they changed a bulb in here and now I'm not getting as much light. But I got some really nice clear pictures earlier with my camera, and I was hoping maybe that would translate to the video. So if the lighting's a little off on this, I apologize. It is a work in progress as I'm trying to make these a little bit better for you guys. And if I failed, I apologize. Like I said, we'll work out the kinks. But anyway, there he is, Masterpiece MP-11 Starscream.